Good evening. Please sit. To the reverend gentlemen and ladies here gathered, to Mr. Danny Strawn, the chair and Commodore of the National Family Island Regatta, Mr. Ken Fee, the chief counselor, to the congregation, it is my privilege and honor to join you here this evening, and on behalf of our Deputy Prime Minister and your Member of Parliament, to participate in this evening service, which will launch formally the 67th version of the Family Island Regatta. I leaned back to the Permanent Secretary to seek a clarification because I'm a bit confused as to how it becomes the 67th version, but Danny will explain that to me afterwards. Because the starting point for me in the regatta was when George Smith was the representative for Exuma, and he was also the minister responsible for Family Island matters, local government, and for the regatta. And I was then working as a broadcaster at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. The year was 1978, and I thought I was appointed to a committee by George to mark the 25th anniversary of the regatta. And as part of my job at ZNS was to record what happened during that 25th year. During that experience, I got to meet Bobby Simonet, who was a previous representative for Exuma and was once the Speaker of the House. And we served on this committee together, and he explained to me why the Family Island Regatta actually takes place when it does. And again, I'm not sure whether this is properly recorded, and this is oral history. He said that it was chosen as the period at the end of the crawfish season and before the winds change in May. So the crawfish season packs up at the 31st of March. The workboats then, before they are put up for the summer, then participate in the race. And it's a better time in April because the wind direction changes after the month of April. This kind of stuff stuck with me. And so when I speak to younger people today, I can always tell them what the weather patterns are in the Bahamas because of that small conversation I had. And if you know the weather in the Bahamas, in the winter, the winds come from a particular direction. Every 4 to 7 days, there's a front that comes in, and the wind comes from, I guess that's the northwest. And it's good, I hope it's good for sailing. I'm not a sailor, so, but I've experienced watching the sailing. I got to tell you two observations. One is a bit of a joke. When the matter came before the cabinet as to whether or not sailing should be the national sport, I must tell you that I took out my cricket bat to say against, so they all had a big joke at my expense. But no one could quite remember how cricket got to be the official sport of the Bahamas. But just in case there's any difficulty, we decided that there would be a resolution passed by the Parliament to ground the fact of the national sport in legislation so that there'd be no doubt as to how this was done. Some said it could be done simply by a declaration. We felt it was better to do it by way of a resolution, and the resolution was passed, as you know, unanimously in the House last week. So sailing has now gone down in history as the official sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And what I think is important, of course, is what the Commodore said. There is a need to make sure that this is inculcated in the generations going forward. What has happened in Exuma with this National Regatta puts Exuma on the map as one of the essential islands to define what the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is. So when people speak about the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Exuma is an integral part of that Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And one of the ways it is a part of that is because it defines our cultural life through what takes place with this National Regatta and sailing. So I want to congratulate all of the organizers, those who took part in the history of trying to make sure that this becomes successful. It's a lot of hard work. I've seen all the various actors and what they have to do, the volunteer work which they have to do. You cannot be paid for what you do. This is for love of country and love of island. And we've seen the progress of the regatta through the many years. I was, again, joking with friends that it wasn't until Mr. Strawn, I think, took me last year, actually on the water, to see the boats race, that I had actually seen a race. Most of the time it's just the social activities. And people would ask me when I got back to Nassau, how was the regatta? And I would say, it's great. But don't ask me who won the race. I'd just say Raleigh Gray won the race. Good choice, eh? So bless his soul, blessed memory, and all those others who contributed to making this such a successful event. I'm pleased, therefore, on behalf of your representative to fill in tonight. He'll be joining you later in the week. And God bless you and have a successful race. Thank you.